Hello and welcome to Schneider Interior Group. This is our first training video. Again, my name is Michael Horanowich. This particular video is going to be about setting the meeting. It's about the initial cold call, what we need to do, your 30-second pitch, and then to finally be able to ask and get a meeting with a particular owner to go over in detail on what we have to offer. The first thing and foremost is to get into the right mindset before you ever walk in the door. That is going to be one, realize that you're an intrusion on a particular business owner's time. Chances are they're working hard in their business. They perform a function. They're not just sitting behind a desk all day. So realize that by you coming in there taking up 30 seconds or 45 seconds of this guy's time is already a problem. So understand that and know that. Next thing is going to be realize what type of business it is that you're going to visit. For example, if it's a restaurant, you really only have a couple times of day that become your opportunity to catch a business owner for even that 30 or 45 seconds. You've got a small window in the morning between like 11 and 12, probably better between 11 and 11:30, or you could visit them somewhere between 2:30 and 5 o'clock in between lunch and dinner. The same thing happens with attorneys, veterinarians, doctors, oil change places, auto repair places. Know when it is the best time to go in and talk to those people. If we go back to the restaurant as an example, the last thing you want to do is walk in there at 12:30 in the afternoon in the middle of lunch, or walk in there at 7 o'clock at night in the middle of dinner, and then try and talk to an owner for 30 to 45 seconds. That's going to be the quickest way to get kicked out the door. He may take your card from you, listen to your speech, and it's going to be in a circular file before you even left the building. So know where you're at. Really understand that 30 seconds has to count, because that's all the time you're going to have. Now, the goal out of this first initial introduction to a particular business client is to actually get a meeting. We're not there to sell a product. You're not there to sell a service. You're just there to get a meeting. So this next part here, we'll kind of run through a 30-second scenario real quick. I'm going to try and it'll be a little bit vague because every situation is going to be a little bit different. This is certainly not a script. If you have something or you have a particular approach that you use with clients, hey, great. We'll talk about some of the components that should be in there, and by all means, you should keep it down to about 30 seconds, no more. Time yourself when you give when you're doing your speech and your pitch. If it's longer than 30 seconds, find out where you can trim it. Okay. The goal of a 30-second pitch, it's going to be, one, to introduce yourself, identify a need and a problem, tell them what the solutions are going to be to those needs and problem, and then get the meeting. Thank them and leave. You got to accomplish all of that within 30 seconds, as well as make sure you have enough trust and confidence established within that business owner during those 30 seconds so that he'll actually set the meeting with you. So let's take a scenario, for example. Let's say it's a restaurant and it's 11 o'clock in the morning. It's on a Tuesday. Business owner's name is John Smith. So before I even walk in there, I'm going to understand what kind of business I'm in. I know that it's in the morning. A couple cars in the parking lot should be available. I'm not going to be intruding, at least on his busy lunch hour. So I'm going to walk in, probably be greeted by a host or a server that's going to ask, how I'm doing today and how many I'm going to be for lunch. I will look at them and I'll just say, is the business owner in by any chance? Yeah, can I ask who's calling? Yep, my name's Michael. Okay, great. Now, while she's going to get, John Smith, the business owner, I'm looking around to see what kind of a restaurant is it. How many people roughly do I think it would take to run this particular restaurant? Is it 15, 20 people probably? It's a pretty good-sized restaurant. Or it's a diner that might have 3 or 4 tables, maybe one server, a couple people in the kitchen. This guy might have 5 or 10 employees. So you're kind of getting an idea of the types of services that you're going to offer when you do have your first meeting. So up walks John. John's walking up. I've got a business card in my hand, and I introduce myself. It's, hi, John, or, hello, my name is Michael Horanowich, and your name is, I'm John Smith. Hey, great. And I'm handing him my business card so that he can see exactly what company I work for and what I do, because it's right there on the card. The approach that I take is a Chamber of Commerce member. You know, if you have the opportunity to join your local chamber of commerce, that it's a great way to get a client list of businesses that are in the area, especially independents. A lot of them utilize their local chambers for different services and things, and it gives you something to talk about. So I'm going to look at John and say, John, I see that you're a chamber member. I'm new to the Chamber of Commerce in the area, you know, and I wanted to take just a quick second to introduce myself and kind of tell you a little bit about what we do. You know, we work with small business owners and franchisees in the area to help reduce their costs on credit card processing. We know that, you know, that's an expense that a lot of people just can't control, so we reduce that. And, you know, in almost every case, we've been able to reduce business owners' credit card processing by half, if not more, on what they pay per transaction. The other thing that we understand that, you know, cash flow is king, especially in this economy. So we're able to help and show business owners how to get their money the very next day. Not only do they get their money the very next day, but we're also able to show them how to get at exceptionally low interest loans against their credit card purchases that don't go through a bank. There isn't any credit checks or anything like that. It's a very quick little application to be able to, you know, buy a piece of equipment. Maybe, you know, we need a new 3-door cooler, or, you know, we need to do something with a hose stand. We need a little bit of remodeling done. Geez, we might have to pay last year's taxes. We're coming up to tax season. But we're able to show people how to do that. And, you know, down the road, if you hear something that you like, we hope that you'll think of us. But do you think you're going to have some time in the next, you know, week or two that perhaps we can sit down for about maybe 15-20 minutes, and I can explain in a little bit more detail about, you know, how much money we can save you with credit card services and how much we can put in your pocket, and then show you how to increase some cash flow by getting you that money the very next day. You know, how does next Tuesday about 11 o'clock in the morning sound to you? Now, at that point, he's either going to say yes, that sounds fine, or if he's going to hee and haw a little bit, I might say, okay, well, how about, you know, 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, a little bit after lunch? Does that work better for you? You know, I mean, I do want to be able to at least explain to you how much money we're going to be able to get you. So how does that sound to you? That's a little bit better for you, right? Okay, great. And he'll say, yeah, sure, you know, we can sit down, we can talk about that. Okay, you know, I mean, I promise you it's not going to be a waste of your time. I'm sure you've probably heard those same pitches before, but I'll tell you, after we're done with that 15 or 20 minutes, I'll show you exactly how we're going to be able to accomplish what other people just haven't been able to do for you. Do you have a business card? Okay, great. He grabs his business card, you flip it over, and you write right on the back, right while he's there. Okay, so we're gonna meet, you know, next Tuesday about 2:30 in the afternoon. Okay, John, I'll see you then. It's been great talking to you. Glad to meet you, and hope you have a really, really busy day. And I'll see you next week in the afternoon. That becomes the end of the presentation, the end of your pitch. You know, if we look at the components in there, you've introduced yourself. You've identified a problem and a need. You've offered a solution. You haven't really told him exactly what it's going to be, other than you have solutions that you're going to be able to give this guy. And you've set the meeting. You've asked and set for the meeting. The most important part of that is asking for the meeting. Don't forget to do that. The chances of another meeting after that, or another impromptu, just cold call, drop it in there, and getting a meeting if you hadn't asked for it the first time, is probably not going to happen for you. So make sure you ask for the meeting. Make sure you keep the pitch down to no more than 30 seconds. Make sure you get the components in there that you're able to identify and use for the guy. And then out the door you go. Don't forget to thank him and to have a busy day. That's the end of this training video. And we hope you had the opportunity to visit tgifinancial.com. And we'll talk to you later.